8 or 9 days been like for you since you found out you're obviously going to be starting this week?
They've been crazy. Just you got people coming out of the woodworks, that are happy for me, and it's great to have those people in my corner. But yeah, it's been crazy. Just prepping, getting ready to go.
Are there any differences between preparing for QB1? I mean, obviously you always have to be ready to get in the game, but do you have a different mindset, as QB1?
Me and Coach Hill were talking about this. You don't wish it was that way, but the reality is it is that way. Like, I'm doing everything I can as QB2 to be ready, but then knowing that I'm starting, it's like there's always more to do. There's always more to do, and I'm finding that way to do that.
What kind of things, when you say there's more to do, what's...
Just the preparation. There's always more film to watch. There's always more time to go over the game plan and plays. And then not just doing that, but I think deliberately doing that, just being able to not just mindlessly go through it, but just sit down and truly study to be ready.
How much of an advantage do you think it'll be for you having played the lion's share last week? Or say if Maddox had got hurt this week or last week between games, where you wouldn't have had a chance to play before you first started?
Yeah, I think it helps a lot. Any time, any playing time helps. I think in the moments that I've played before helped me up to this point right now, and then just playing the full 3 quarters or whatever it was, like just I just feel confident and more comfortable going in and knowing what to expect.
The process leads to the results, right? So if you go back and not necessarily the results, but you look at your process and how you played last game, like where do you look back and go like, man, I can be better there? Like what stands out to you about that?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying before is just I think the deliberate study of the game plan and then deliberate study of film. Just having the game plan and film side by side, so that way I'm seeing our plays versus the looks that we have scouted, like on San Diego, and that's something that I'm really trying to do this week.
What was the biggest thing you took away from those 3 quarters on the field, whether it was just the speed of the game or whatever, that you definitely think you'll be better at, this week?
Yeah, I think just playing within myself. I think there was times that I'd look up at the scoreboard and be like, oh man, we gotta go, but just trusting that training, trusting that preparation, and then just making the plays that I should make. I think there was a couple times where I didn't make the play that I should make, and I'll be better in that.
It's just, how were you feeling when you were going out onto the field? Maddox has come off, it looks kind of bad, you could be there for 3 quarters. Just, I guess, what's going through your brain, and is everything going super fast? I guess, what's that like?
Yeah, and it was kind of like the Air Force game. He goes down early in the game, and I step in and I'm ready to go. I don't think too much about it, and I don't want to say it helps because it's a bad situation, but it kind of helps just being thrown in there because you don't have a lot of time to think and you're just going out and playing ball. But so there's not a whole lot going through in that moment, and then you just take it drive by drive.
So I guess just how do you feel your prep is? I know you've got a week to go, basically a week. How does it feel going into this game compared to every other game where you've been QB2 and you're prepping for the game, but can you feel a difference in how you're ready for this game compared to when you were just back up?
Like I was saying, you don't wish it was that way, but the reality is it is that way. Like I'm just telling myself I'm gonna know the game plan inside and out, and I'm gonna watch as much film, as many games as I can.
I don't know.
Why are you prepared for this moment? I mean, go back like 5-10 years, the person, the player, the family, the professional, all that stuff. Why are you prepared for this moment?
I think the hard work, the grit, and the trust in the whole process. I've worked my way up from being a walk-on, and just brick by brick and play by play, like just over and over, just working, trusting the process, just helping me to get to this point. And then I think it's easy hearing that I'm the starter to overlook that sometimes, and that's something that I'm trying to fall back to, is just trusting what got me here and do those same things.
When you have a few minutes of private time and all of a sudden you look at yourself and go, I'm the starting quarterback at Boise State, that has to be a little overwhelming.
A little overwhelming, sure, but it's truly exciting. This is what you dream of, and so it's it's brought me back and to when I was a little kid, and it's like this is the shot that I've always been dreaming of. Don't waste it.
What do you have to do to go from that, to go from being a walk-on to being QB1? I don't know when the last time that happened here was, but I'm sure it's been a while.
Sorry, say that question again.
Just to go from walk-on to QB1, you know, just how crazy of a trip has that been, and just what have you done to really put yourself in this position?
Yeah, it is a big, long process. You know, I came in and I was running scout team and I was a walk-on, and I was looking at all these guys like, man, this is, you know, you guys are pretty good at football. And then just as the years go on, you know, I work my way up the ranks, and then it's like, okay, these guys, like I can hang with these guys. And then I think I was telling you guys earlier this year, like I truly believe once I got put on scholarship, it was like, this is where I belong, this is what I can do. And now's the time to go show that.
When you come in as a freshman, just how daunting is that climb? Does that look?
A little daunting. I honestly think I've done a good job at, like I said before, just doing little things, just going, you know, day by day, minute by minute, just making sure that I'm doing the right thing, living the right way, and just truly trusting the process.
You are like the first local quarterback here to start a game in like 30 plus years. I mean, what does this mean to you?
I mean, it means a lot, you know, but, you know, you guys were saying that, I think the last time we talked, and it was a super cool stat to look at, super cool thing to, you know, strive for. And now that it's here, it's, you know, it's like, what does it necessarily matter? You know what I mean? Like, I'm here to play football. I'm here to, you know, win us some games. And whether it's a local kid or not, like at the end of the day, they're going to put the best kid out there.
You talked about your grit and your process, you know, brick by brick. Where does that come from? Where does your mindset come from? Is that from family, or where does it come from?
Family, for sure. And then I think it goes back to, it starts with family, for sure. My dad coaching me all growing up, just he never let me quit, never gave me an opportunity to quit. And then I think it goes into high school, going to Skyview, and called ourselves a Dirty 30. And just truly just getting down, getting gritty, because, you know, I was playing both ways at the end of my senior year, and just trusting, you know, that's how we'll win games, by doing whatever it takes possible.
Controlling your emotions obviously can be a valuable thing, but it's also easier said than done. Mm-hmm. One thing the coaches said about you, maybe that might be different than Maddox, is you are a little more, you don't have so many highs or lows emotionally. So how much effort do you pour into that? Where does that come from, and why might you value that?
It's a good question. I think it just goes back to, you know, I tell myself all the time, and we've talked about it a million times in the last week, the whole team, just really going play by play. Like, you've just got to trust that. And, you know, if you make a mistake this play, what can you do to change that? You know, there's nothing you can do to change that except for learn from it and then move on to the next play. And that's kind of what, you know, I'm looking at right now, is just getting ready for this game.
Without trying to sound like egotistical and stuff, like, but what is it with quarterbacking that you feel you are better at than Max Cutforth?
Yeah.
What do you do better than he does, in your opinion?
Yeah. Hopefully he's not watching this, because he'll hate me for this. But yeah, I truly think that I have a good understanding of when you know, the team is starting to fall down a little bit, and just to go and pick them up, turn it around, and truly light a fire underneath them. And then I think I do a great job at, you know, making the plays that I should make. I've said it a million times, but that is truly, I think, what got me here, and what is my strong suit, is not doing too much, but just running the play, executing the play how it should be executed.
I noticed the practice today, and maybe you've done it before and I just didn't notice, but, you know, shaking hands, high-fiving, slapping butts, kind of just being a little bit more of a leader. Are you trying to do a little bit more of that right now?
For sure. And I'm in that role where, you know, there's one less leader out there on the field. And so I feel like I've taken a big responsibility in filling that leadership role, especially at the quarterback position, because it's a pretty big leadership role. And so, especially with Maddox not being out there for, you know, the first half of practice, I for sure taken that on myself to
How do you
feel that.
earn the confidence of your teammates and your receivers, and obviously you've been doing it in practice, but I mean, how do you feel about that connection, and what do you got to do to go out there and show them, okay, I know I'm not Maddox, but we're going to be fine?
Yeah, I think it was earned a long time ago, and I've felt that. I don't think I've needed to still earn the confidence and trust in people. I've felt it as soon as Maddox went down last game. I felt it like it truly means a lot when he goes down, and I have the leaders on the team. I got on offense, you got Trell and Cage and those guys and Roger like coming up to me and saying they believe in me throughout the whole game, throughout all of last week, and then even the defensive side. Having Marco and JV come up and just say they believe in me. It means a lot, and I think that was earned months ago.
How
obviously, in football, one of QB2's biggest responsibilities is to be there for QB1. Mm-hmm. So now that the roles have been flipped, how has QB1 been there for QB2? And I know Max is going through some stuff, but what has he been like for you over these last this last week or so?
Yeah, it's been great just having him sit there and like I've said this before. I don't know if I've said it to you guys, but just there's some things that the coaches will say, and you're just like, what are you talking about? So then you go, like Maddox would come to me in the middle of the game and be like, ask me that, and I'm like, no, like you're good. That's what I saw, and it's good having that set of eyes there too. And then me and Maddox are super close, and it is. I think the world of him. I think he's an absolute amazing quarterback, and it's awesome just to have him in my corner, him pushing me, him helping me out, and all that.
Speaking of walk-on local kid, what have you seen from Zeke Martinez?
I've seen him. I think he's done a great job. As one guy goes down, everybody kind of moves up the ladder, and he's done a great job. And we talk about this all the time because all the other three of us were on scout team, and when we were on scout team, you're not looking at the installs at all. But he does a great job at looking at the installs, and just he doesn't necessarily skip a beat within that room. I think he's done a great job.
From the loss to Fresno State to the opportunity that's here with San Diego State, how much of a chip does that give you on your shoulder to go out and get the job done?
A lot, and kind of like what we've been talking about is I'm taking that last week against Fresno, and there's nothing I can do to change it except for learn from it and then go apply that into this week.
You know how this town is. I mean, if you play well and they win, you will have this town. You'll be the most popular guy in the city, and if it doesn't go well for you and you guys lose, it's not going to be like that. Like, how are you prepared to handle it? There's not really a middle ground in this town, right? There's like A or B, and you've seen it.
Yeah. Thanks for putting that lightly. No, but you're right. That it is that way, and I think there's not much that I can do. Like, there's, it's the guys in this facility. It's my family. It's those people that, at the end of the day, that's who I've got to rely on, in good and in bad. Like it's cool to have the whole town behind me, and that's what I hope for. But they're just watching me play football. Whereas the guys in this building, my family, they know who I am, and I'm more than just a football player to them.
I know this is a very presumptuous question, but do you visualize yourself taking this job and running with it for the next 2 or 3 years? Or?
Absolutely. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to play. I'm here to compete, and this is just another stepping stone towards that goal.
So in your mind, you want to be the starting quarterback for the next 27 games or whatever it is?
Absolutely.
Kind of getting back to the emotions of it or whatnot, like who's the person like after last game you couldn't wait to talk to build you back up or get through it? And then is that the same person that if it goes well you'll call to celebrate that with, or like who's that person for you?
Absolutely. I think it's both my mom and my dad. They've been there throughout my entire life. They've had super specific roles as parents. My dad was, excuse my language, but the hard ass. And he was always driving me, pushing me, and we butted heads a lot of times growing up. And my mom was always there to support me. And so just after that game, like I know that they were going to be there for me. And Those are my people right there, my mom and my dad.
Max, just real quick, how would you describe your connection on the field with some of your main pass catchers? You know, Chris, Gatu, Max, those kind of guys, Latrell.
Yeah, I think it's great. You know, I throw them every day, and I don't think there's a big worry in that area.
Thanks, Max.